Just the other day on the Guide Culture Instagram stories, I was walking you guys through how I take our notes and our decisions from our quarterly meetings, and I organize them into our project management system, Asana. You guys loved it. You were asking questions and you really just wanted more. So today in this video, I am walking you through the what, the why, and the how of Asana. It is Ninja Nat. Let's get started. First things first, what is Asana? Put simply, Asana is a project and task management platform that you can use to keep all of your work organized in one place. This is really an amazing tool, especially if you have a remote team, but really you can use it if it's just you. So keep watching. If it's only you, keep watching because this can be a really useful tool for you as well. Just recently, the Guide Culture team here has really gotten serious about living in Asana. So everything is in one place. Everyone knows who is responsible for what, and we can all easily see the project calendar for the entire year at a glance. So it is very, very useful. You may be thinking, why exactly do I need Asana? I already have Google Calendar, a planner, a to-do list. Maybe you use Daily Deposit. And, I get it because I also want all of my things, especially for work, to be organized in one place. I don't want things in 1,000 different places. And that's actually the very reason that Asana could be something that you consider using. So let me explain. Asana is a calendar and task list in one. So you're able to not only plan out maybe your work in advance, you could do weekly, monthly, like I said, even a year at a glance, but you're also able to focus on your priority projects and goals very easily. So you have that big picture view, but you're able to zoom in and really focus on things that need to be done today, tomorrow, next week, that kind of thing. So this becomes very valuable if you have a team because you can actually assign them tasks that go with big projects. You can set due dates and everyone can see the big picture all at once, like I mentioned. Asana also has the capability that you can connect Google Drive so you can load any links or attachments that you might be working on. And like I said, it keeps it all there in one place and you just have to click the button to open your documents. By now, you may have heard me say the word project quite a bit, and that brings me to the how of Asana. But before I get into the nitty-gritty pieces of the platform, I really want to go over a few basics so you really feel confident using it to its fullest advantage. So the basics, if you don't already have an account, like anything, that is of course the first thing that you want to do. It is completely free. You just sign up with your email. You can go to asana.com and do that. And after you have created your account, it's going to take you through some steps to just set up your account. And it will ask you to go ahead and invite any team members or people that need access to whatever it is that you're going to be working on and that you want them to have access to. And finally, I'm going to walk you through all of the functions. I'm going to show you exactly how we use Asana here at Guide Culture, and it's going to be really fun. But one thing before I do that, I want to talk about the terms teams and the terms projects. That is the language that the Asana platform uses. So if you hear me using the words teams or projects throughout this video, just know that I am referring to the platform itself. So I'm going to share my new screen. That way you can see me walking you through this whole thing as if you are completely new to Asana. So let's do that right now. All right, so once you sign up for an account on Asana, it is going to send you an email just to verify your email address, just like any other platform that you might be signing up for. And then it will take you through a series of steps. So it'll ask you like what kind of business or work you do, and you can just answer out of their list. And then it's going to have you set up your first project. There's that word that I was telling you about, project. It's not anything big and scary. It's just how things are organized within the platform. So just for an example, I'm just going to put email marketing. You can change this whenever you get through this process. So just put maybe your biggest thing right now. You could even call it like quarterly goals or whatever it is. You can call it whatever you need to right now. But like I said, you can always change it once you get in. So I'm just going to click continue. And then it's going to have you set up project milestones that it says will help keep your team on track. So you can, of course, go ahead and rename these if you do have like milestones that you want to reach. For this, I'm just going to leave it to what it populated as because, like I said, you can change that later. And then there's a couple different ways that you can view all of your work inside of Asana. They have list, board, timeline, and calendar. You can choose these at any point. So right now I'm just going to choose list, but you can always click the one like you see right here. This is what it actually looks like when you get into the platform. So you can always shift back and forth between these different views. And I'm going to show you what they all look like. And then this right here is where you invite your team members or any people that need access to your Asana system. So you just insert their email and you can put a role for them here and it will send them an email inviting them to join your Asana team. And then if you have any links, like files or attachments that you want to go ahead and upload, you can. Maybe this could be a logo, any photos, anything like that. I'm not going to do that right now for this example, but if you do have stuff that you use quite often, you could go ahead and do that here and it would already be in your Asana system. So like I said, Asana is free. You have a 30-day, everybody has a 30-day free trial whenever they sign up, and then they're going to ask you to upgrade if you want. I don't exactly know what the benefits are of upgrading. We here at Guide Culture just use this free basic plan. So you could look into the different levels of stuff they have, but for just the most basic use, it is not necessary. So this is what your Asana system looks like. So this is what everyone will see when they log in. Everyone gets their own login, but they will all kind of see similar things. So I'm going to walk you through this left side over here first, just so we can get a good grasp on how you will be using the system or the platform. So this home button just takes you to this little page and it will show you any tasks coming up and recent projects that you have created. My tasks is kind of what you could consider your new to-do list, your brain dump. Not your daily deposit game day list, but your like ongoing list of things to do. So instead of a huge like brain dump on paper, I actually brain dump in Asana so that I can always refer back to it if needed. So people can also assign you tasks, which I think is so valuable if you have a team. That's what we do here at Guide Culture, especially after our quarterly meetings. I will kind of go through our notes from our quarterly meetings and I will start assigning people their tasks for that quarter, if that makes sense. So let's focus on this for a minute. So what's really cool is that you can, this is what I prefer to do, is you can kind of like section off your task list. So for example, something that I do often are edit the Guide Culture podcast. So I actually have a section in my Asana that says GC podcast. And so this is in my personal task list. Everyone can see it, but I can assign myself stuff. Weekly emails is another one. And then let's say team meeting to-dos. So if you have a lot of like different categories of work that you're doing, I think creating sections in your task list could be really, really beneficial. So these are ones that they just have pre-populated whenever you join Asana, and you can actually delete those or just rename them to make them your own. And this one you can't delete, so I usually just leave it at the bottom. So then I can go ahead and like assign myself something. So let's do GC podcast episode. And then I can move it under the section that it needs to go. So you can drag and drop, which is really cool. Let's see, GC weekly or just email I'm going to put that under that. And let's add one more under the team meeting to-dos. And I don't know, I'm just making something up. I'm going to drag that under those sections. So now that we have some tasks in our task list, I'm going to show you how you can even take this further. So you have the task, that's like the main thing. And if you click on details here, it'll pull up this little sidebar and you can assign a due date. So again, this becomes really helpful if you are assigning tasks to your team so they know exactly when it needs to be done. So I'm just going to put right here, and it'll literally say tomorrow or today, which is really awesome because when you log in, you're like, oh, ding, 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 that's what I need to be working on. In just a minute, I'm going to show you how you can add it to a project. But right here is how you can just put a description if you need to make any notes to yourself. Like I said, you can link something here. So if you work in Google Docs, you can link your Google Doc here. So you can just click on it. Like, the way I work personally is I keep open 2 tabs like all day. It's my email and Asana because I link everything in Asana. So I'm not having to like search in Google Drive for what I need. It's linked in this one platform and to keep things just really easy and streamlined. So let's say that I'm in charge of this episode getting edited and published. But I need like Macy and Kat to record the episode. I could do a subtask here, record podcast episode. And I can assign that to them. Your teammates will show up here and you can assign that to them and you can put a due date on that subtask. So that is something that I think is so valuable. And we do that a lot, especially with our like quarterly meetings and things like that I have mentioned. So up here, you can attach things. Again, that's just where you can access subtasks and you can link things to that one overarching task. People can like comment on this and it will notify you. So that's the next little thing over here that I'm going to show you is your inbox in Asana, but you can also set up email notifications. So if someone comments on something inside Asana, you also get an email notification about it. So next I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to keep walking you through this sidebar here. The inbox is just like I said, if somebody comments on something, if somebody checks a task off that you've assigned them, it'll all show up here and there will be a little orange dot whenever there's something in your inbox. So just keep that in mind. Portfolios is actually a tab that I've never used, so I do not have expertise on that specifically, but Asana does have internal trainings and videos that you can click on for the different features and functions that it has. So if you want to explore portfolios more, you can do that there. So the next tab is goals, and we actually do not use Asana for this either, but you can set any kind of goals that you have in here, and it does have a way to track your progress and it like will track metrics. I don't, like I said, with the same with the portfolio tab, I don't have experience with this tab specifically, but I can link an Asana training that walks you through this properly, so that you get the most out of it, because I will not be very helpful for this section specifically. The next thing I want to walk you through is how you create your projects. And so, like I said, teams and projects are the language that Asana uses inside the platform. And your projects are going to show up on this side right here. And then you can star like your favorite ones, the ones that you're going to be using the most. So for example, here at Guide Culture, we have just a few projects on Asana specifically. One is our project calendar, and that is where we kind of like live. Everything is linked in this one project, which is what Asana calls it. And then we have a couple others that is where we kind of live for our quarterly meetings, which is what I was walking you guys through a couple weeks back on Instagram stories. And I'm actually going to link a video of those stories so you can refer back and kind of see what I was talking about. And then I think it'll help you make sense of this video as well. So let me show you how to make your project so everything is organized. So whenever you were creating your account, whatever you put as your, like the type of work that you do, that is what is going to default to here on the side. And so when you click on that, you can see here that you can create multiple projects within that one tab. So I use like email marketing as an example. And so when I click on that, this is my project overview right here. So this is where I was talking about. You can view it as a list, which looks like a task list, but is different than your little task list up here. It is a list for this specific project. You can view it as a board. So the board view, we actually used to use this for podcast episodes. We would, we had a couple sections. It was to record, to edit, and then to publish. And so each section can have a task underneath it. So let's just say interview with Natalie, due date. You know, you can set due dates for everything and you can assign everybody something. But then whenever it's ready to edit, you can drag it over here. And then if it's ready to publish, you can drag it over here. So that just kind of walks you through the board view of Asana. It's completely up to you what works for you. Personally, here at Guide Culture, we use list view and calendar view the most. Timeline view just lets you view it a little differently as well. So you can kind of like see when things are due. It's like a different way to view a calendar, kind of. So I prefer this calendar tab because it is a true calendar. Something to note here is if you click weekends off, it will show you Sunday through Saturday. But if you click weekends like that, it will show you just Monday through Friday. So just something to keep in mind there. It's personal preference. So the calendar view is what we use here at Guide Culture to set our project calendar for the entire year. So like I said, I keep two tabs open like when I'm working, my email and Asana, and usually what I'm looking at in Asana is the project calendar. So I'm going to actually pull up our project calendar so you can kind of see what it could look like for you. And then I'm going to show you how you can add them to ours. I'm going to have to pull up another tab real fast just so I do not lose this. All right, so this is an example of what your project calendar or any type of calendar could look like inside of Asana. So this is what kind of like a finished situation looks like inside of Asana with tags, colors, that kind of thing. So that is what I'm going to walk you through next. Just know that this is what we are aiming for. This is what keeps you organized and on track. So I'm going to go back, share my blank calendar, and show you how you can make one for yourself. All right, when you are on the calendar view, you can actually just click and type. So like if I'm doing GC podcast, Natty interview there. So it is making tasks for me in this calendar. These are not assigned to anyone yet. They do not like belong to anyone. They are just there. The whole team can see them, whatever. But the purpose is obviously to assign the correct things to the correct people. So if you click on it, it'll pop up here. You will assign it to somebody. The due date, you can make sure that it is on the correct project. So, you know, obviously email marketing is not correct, but we could change the name of this right here to project calendar. And it would show up there. And then if you want to add a tag, you can totally do that. And tags are really cool because it kind of like color coordinates stuff. So you can like see the difference in all of the things on your calendar. So let's just call this podcast, create tag for podcast, choose a color, and it is set. And then I'm just going to assign that to me. And then we're going to go back to this calendar view, and you see there, it is color. So then let's say I need to do a GC email on that Tuesday. Click that there. And I will create a tag for email. Due date, of course, and any, like I said, any description, anything you need to load, you can do that by utilizing the link button or the attachment button or the link button. And there are a couple of different features that you can do to priority. You can, they have tags for priority, that's like default, and then status. So if you want to utilize those things with your team or yourself, you absolutely can. It's not something we actually do here at Guide Culture because we work well with just viewing that project calendar and seeing what is checked off and what is left to do. So that is just an example of that. So you can see how your project will start to build out. So think of your project calendar as your year at a glance or whatever it is for your business. So let's say you have something like really big that you are launching. There's a lot of moving pieces, and it's more like it just doesn't feel right to add all of the to-dos to this calendar, right? Okay, that makes total sense. We also have that kind of stuff here. So let's use a launch as an example. You can come over here to the side, click this plus button, or if you click on that, you can click the new project here, or you can click the plus button and just do blank project, and we will call it 2021 launch. And you can choose a color if you want, create project. And so now you see here, I have two projects in Asana. I have my project calendar and I have my 2021 launch. So you can come over here for something like this, list view might make more sense. So let's think of all the things that might go into a launch. You need to set it up on Webinar Jam. You need to write a sales sequence. You need to write a drive to register sequence. You need to create ads. You need to do Instagram post. Maybe use affiliates. Set up the product on Kartra. And let's say that's all you can think of right now. So these are all individual tasks within that one big project. But maybe you aren't responsible for all of these. That's where the assigning the stuff to your team member can come in handy. So the timeline view could also be very, very helpful for something like this. So let's say, let's back it up over here to the project calendar. Let's go to calendar view. Let's say your launch is going to be on July 1st. Launch. I'm going to click on that. Let's say you're in charge of this, but you're not in charge of all the tasks for it. No worries. So it is on the project calendar, but it can also be on your 2021 launch project. So it's added to two of the projects. You see what I did there? So now if you go back over here to the 2021 launch, you will see that on July 1st, there's your launch. In your list view, you'll see it as well. And so we know that the launch is happening on July 1st, so you need to set it up on Webinar Jam at least a week prior. So I'm going to go put that. Let's do that. The sales sequence needs to be written by, let's say, June 28th. Drive to register needs to be like there. You definitely want these ads done. And you want to go ahead and schedule your stuff. I'm just making things up as I go, but you guys are going to get it in just a minute. And then let's say by then. So now that you have due dates for all of these, if you click on timeline, you can see all of the tasks that need to happen before your launch over here on July 1st. So this is when a timeline view could be helpful because you can see very clearly what needs to happen to get you all the way over here. So I know that is a lot of information, but I highly, highly encourage you to just make your Asana account and start with one like big project you're working on, or transfer your year at a glance calendar to Asana and then start listing out tasks that need to happen for what is happening in your year. I know that was a lot of information, but I promise once you get in here and just start doing it, it makes so much more sense. And like I said, if you have a team, this is so useful because people can literally just live in this rather than trying to figure out where something's at in Slack, going through their email every day, searching through the Google Drive. Everything can be linked in this one place. And so you know exactly where stuff is and you feel confident when you sit down to work every single day. I hope that was helpful, but if you do have lingering questions, please drop them in the comments. I'm happy to help. And like I said, I am going to drop the story video that I did a couple weeks ago on Instagram so you can see kind of what I do for our quarterly meetings. I hope this was helpful. It's Ninja Nat. Let me know if you have any questions.